Manners. Whatever happened to them? Well, this young man still has them. A group of 3 thieves make a living by going into houses and steal from it.
We got Alex. His dad works for a security company, and Alex exploits that to break into people's houses.
Rocky, who's trying to leave the state with her sister to get away from her abusive mother. And Money. Yeah, he likes money. Money gets tipped off about a house where a war veteran lives in it who recently got a $300,000 settlement due to a car accident that led to his daughter's death. The group goes to scout the vet's house. They found that he has no neighbors and basically lives in a ghost area. They soon realize that the man is blind. Alex objects to stealing from him, since it's unmoral to steal from a blind man. Money tells him that
just cause he blind don't mean he's saint, bro.
And that in fact was correct.
It's gonna be easy, bro.
When the night came, they went to his house, drugged his dog, and started to look for a way in. Alex's key didn't work due to the blind man having multiple different security doors. Alex questions why on earth anyone would ever do that.
Tell me about it. People are so paranoid these days.
They tried the back door, didn't work. They tried to go in the hatch that leads to the basement, also didn't work. Eventually they found a small window, and Rocky breaks it, goes inside, and manages to stop the alarm with the remote that Alex gave her. She opens the door for them. They go inside and take off their shoes, because it's rude to walk around the house with filthy boots. They take a look around the house. Then Money goes upstairs and enters a room to find the blind man sleeping with the sound of a video of his deceased daughter playing when she was a child. Money tries to set up a sleeping gas.
Is there someone there? Nope. Who's there? It's just the sound of your video. Oh, thanks.
Money puts down the sleeping gas and leaves the room. They group up in front of a heavily locked door. They suspect the $300K is inside. Money pulls out a gun to try and shoot the lock off. Alex sees the gun and gets scared, since now the blind man has the legal right to shoot them. But Alex, how can he shoot you? He's blind. Money shoots the lock off and Alex is like,
I'm out.
Then the blind man pops out of nowhere, asking who's there. Then he steps on the falling lock of the door and gets frightened, realizing it's the door. Money threatens him and tells him to not move, while the blind man just keeps getting closer and closer until he makes a karate move and holds Money against the wall. He asks him who else is there besides him. Surprisingly, he did not rat out on his people. Then Money starts begging to be spared. Then the blind man finally let go of him.
Thanks, man. I'm gonna find a job now. I'm gonna be a man of God. I'm gonna give to charity.
Pop the cap. Rocky is terrified and hides inside a closet. The blind man took Money's word for it that he was the only intruder. Alex returns into the house because he heard gunshots. Then he makes a way for the old man to pass because obviously respect your elders.
There you go, sir. Thanks, son.
The blind man starts repairing everything that was broken and closes the doors of the house. Rocky texts Alex to tell him where she's hiding. The blind man enters the closet where Rocky is hiding, takes off a part of the wall to reveal the safe, and enters a code while it's clearly visible to Rocky and checks if the money is still there. And what do you know, the $300K is right there. He is relieved that the money wasn't taken. He closes the safe, then leaves, unaware that Rocky saw him. Alex goes inside the closet and suggests to call the cops. Rocky shushes him up, opens the safe, and takes the money, which actually happens to be $1 million. They decided to leave through the door that was bolted, and through a hatch that leads to the yard. Then the blind man appears from the inside and starts dragging Money's body, until Alex makes a sound with his step.
Please don't shoot me, please don't shoot me, please don't shoot me, please don't shoot me. Please shoot her, please shoot her, please shoot her, please shoot her. Please shoot him, please shoot him, please shoot him, please shoot him.
He continues to drag the body, still unaware that they're there. They go inside the basement. While the blind man is repairing the house, he discovers more than one pair of shoes and finally realizes that there are other intruders. He goes to check if the money is still there. He doesn't find it and freaks out. Alex and Rocky are now in the basement and they find a girl tied to the wall. Alex is like,
This chick is scaring me. I'ma head out.
At the moment, the girl moved a bell attached to her rings and notifies the blind man that there are something going on in the basement. The girl tries to tell him who she is. Rocky and Alex discovers that she is the one who ran over his daughter and the blind man had kidnapped her. How exactly he kidnapped her is a mystery. They help her to escape with them. When they open the hatch to leave, the blind man was waiting for them and starts shooting at them. He kills the girl that killed his daughter. While Alex and Rocky was running, the blind man realizes who he had killed and starts screaming, saying his baby is dead. Instead of Rocky and Alex taking the opportunity to escape while the blind man is crying and sobbing, they wait and negotiate their next strategy.
Listen, you go first, then I go after. No, you go first, and I will go after you. No, no, no.
He turns off the lights and hunts Alex and Rocky down. He makes a dunk for some reason. He almost killed Alex, but Alex eventually escapes with Rocky outside the basement. They find his dog fully awake waiting for them, then chases them to the second floor. They get cornered in a room. They move the closet to block the door. The windows are barricaded, so the only way to get out of there is a vent through the wall. Rocky goes through it. While Alex holds the door, the blind man pushes the door and it opens slightly enough for the dog to slip in and attacks Alex, which results in him falling into a ceiling window, going unconscious. He takes a quick nap.
Caleb, you open my eyes. Hello there. Hello there.
The blind man shoots the window, dropping Alex to the house's first floor. The dog tracks Rocky's location inside the vent. Rocky sees the dog lunging at her, so she does the smartest thing she could think of, which is falling head down onto the floor, possibly paralyzing herself. She's okay, don't worry. Alex crawls into a hiding place, but the blind man finds him and roughens him up, then stabs him, which results in his death. The blind man fights Rocky and knocks her out. The next scene is Rocky tied to the wall, just like the girl that was kidnapped. She tells him that she understands why he kidnapped the girl and promises to not tell anyone, then begs him to let her go. He explains that since the girl had a powerful family, she wouldn't go to jail, and he felt it will only be just if she gave him another child. She was pregnant with his child, and if Rocky and Alex hadn't broken into his house, they would still be alive now. He is going to impregnate Rocky and will let her go once she gives birth to his child.
He eats something which seems to be his sperm.
He tries to inject it.
Oh, and about Alex, yeah, he didn't die. The blind man actually missed him. Yeah, so Alex hit him with a hammer, knocking him out.
He frees Rocky and they cuff the blind man's hands. They decide to not call the police on him so they can keep the money. The blind man sobs and tells them to leave, which is his way of bribing them and making them silent. They go outside the basement into the front door of the house to leave.
Freedom! Guess not.
No, that is one angry looking dude. Rocky bolts out, then she is like,
You're worthless out here. Oh man, if only there was a way. Oh hey doggy.
She reaches the car they came in with, and the dog snatches the money from her. She's inside the car now, frustrated that she can't find the car's keys. Then she tricks the dog and traps him in the trunk. When she steps outside the car and grabs the money, the blind man comes out of nowhere and knocks her out. He drags her all the way to the house. While she's laying on the floor, lost all hope in living, she spots the alarm remote, grabs it, and makes the alarm go off. That triggers the blind man and blocks his hearing senses, which gives Rocky the opportunity to attack him and push him down the stairs. And the gun drops on the floor and shoots by itself onto the blind man. Rocky hears sirens and leaves the house. Now Rocky is seen with her sister in a train station. She sees the news that the blind man survived and 2 intruders were killed by him. He didn't mention Rocky nor the money, so she wouldn't rat him out about the girl he kidnapped. The end.